Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today we're diving into this fascinating discussion about open source AI and its geopolitical ripples. It's like, opening Pandora's box but with code.
Yep, right. It feels like we're at the crossroads where technology meets global power struggles.
Exactly. So, at its core, we're looking at whether releasing the blueprints for a super AI like Meta's LLaMA is a boon for democratization or a massive safety nightmare.
Mm. And that's a big question, isn't it? On one side, you have the idea that an open source approach could level the playing field against monopolistic power, kind of like um, dispersing power among many rather than letting one giant control everything.
Yes, precisely. It's very reminiscent of the classic Cathedral versus Bazaar debate. On one hand, you have the closed Cathedral model where a select few control everything meticulously.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, the Bazaar model, open, chaotic, collaborative, it's like a bustling marketplace of ideas and innovations. But that, of course, comes with its own risks.
Right, because if you open access to super powerful AI models, then anyone, including those with malicious intent, can get their hands on these tools.
Exactly. Picture this. It's like publishing the blueprint for, a nuclear bomb online. Not that everyone would build it, but the potential for harm is huge. In the short term, we're talking about risks like mass disinformation, cybercrime, and even the possibility of designing autonomous weapon systems.
Mm. And that's where the concept of accountability comes in, right? With a closed model, there's a clear chain of responsibility. But once it's open source, tracking liability becomes nearly impossible.
Absolutely. With closed models like those from OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google DeepMind, there's always someone responsible if things go wrong. However, with open source releases, it's diffuse, a million versions out there, each potentially tweaked in unpredictable ways.
Yeah. But then there's the argument around innovation. Aren't there huge benefits to open sourcing, like accelerating progress because um, many eyes can catch flaws and add improvements?
Yes, indeed. On the flip side, open source AI brings in the collective wisdom of a global community. It's, um, like a massive brainstorming session where rapid improvements can be made. Researchers worldwide can scrutinize the code, patch vulnerabilities, and even create defensive AI systems.
Mm. So, in a way, you could say that open sourcing might build a sort of societal immune system against potential future threats by exposing us to risks gradually.
Exactly. It creates, a diversified ecosystem rather than a single point of failure. If one model goes haywire, it's not the whole world under one dominion. Instead, you get multiple players checking each other's power, which could, in theory, be stabilizing.
Yeah. But here's a counterpoint I want to raise. Don't you think that by making these models so accessible, we might actually be empowering bad actors? Like, wouldn't a rogue nation or extremist group benefit disproportionately from this supposed democratization?
That is the inherent dilemma. The very openness that promises innovation and democracy also, unfortunately, makes it easier to misuse the technology. Some argue that the risk of autonomous malicious AI agents, which, by the way, is a long-term existential threat, could be unmanageable.
Uh-huh. So it's really a trade-off between preventing a single monopolistic power and risking an uncontrolled proliferation of dangerous tools.
Right, it's a double-edged sword. Meta's release of LLaMA is a prime example. Initially, it was hailed as a heroic democratization move, challenging the likes of OpenAI and Google, but then it quickly became a geopolitical tool in the US-China tech rivalry.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how this move went from being an academic experiment to becoming a strategic lever on the international stage.
Exactly. China has been particularly quick to leverage the open-source approach. With restrictions on advanced chip exports from the US, open-source AI models like LLaMA have allowed Chinese companies to bypass some of the most costly and complex parts of AI training.
Yeah. So they sort of sidestep the need for billions in compute resources because they can use these open blueprints to build on existing architecture?
Yeah, it's like, taking a head start by using someone else's work as a foundation. Companies like Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent are using these models to create a vibrant, domestically powered AI ecosystem.
Absolutely. And that, in turn, helps them build global trust and soft power, providing an alternative to the US-led tech order.
Right. It is a calculated move. By aligning themselves with the open source ethos, they not only innovate, but also challenge the notion that advanced AI should be a strictly American-controlled asset. It's like turning the open source principle on its head, as a strategic countermeasure, not just a philosophical choice.
Mm. But don't you think that by doing so, China might also be taking on increased risk by relying on models that could be less secure or even have vulnerabilities that are exploited elsewhere?
That's a fair point. There's inherent risk in all of this. However, proponents argue that since the knowledge is already widespread and, inevitable, embracing openness now might actually help develop defensive strategies, like improved cybersecurity measures and better detection technologies for deepfakes or disinformation.
Yeah, I see that. It's really a balancing act, isn't it? We've traded the risk of a single unchallenged AI overlord for a messy multipolar world that might be unstable, yet arguably more resilient.
Absolutely, it's a dangerous paradox. On the one hand, keeping AI closed could concentrate power dangerously, while on the other, open sourcing it spreads both innovation and risk. The challenge is navigating this uncharted territory with,
Mm.
wise global governance.
And that brings us to the proposed solutions: international treaties, standardized auditing tools, and global consensus on red lines for research.
Exactly. It's not enough to just release the code. We need proper regulations and a framework that ensures accountability, safety measures like watermarking AI-generated content, and transparent oversight on the development of autonomous systems.
Yep, it definitely sounds like an enormous task, trying to keep pace with rapidly evolving tech while balancing national interests, isn't it?
It truly is. And the debate, is far from settled. The safety implications are profound. Short-term risks like disinformation and cybercrime, and long-term dangers like uncontrollable autonomous agents that could act contrary to human values.
Mm. Yeah, and I find it a bit ironic that the same foundational principle meant to prevent single points of failure is now possibly enabling a race where everyone arms themselves, so to speak.
That's exactly the tension. By democratizing access to AI, we might stave off a scenario where one entity has absolute control. But in doing so, we open up a whole new front of vulnerabilities. A truly, chaotic arms race, if you will.
Right. And it's not just about the technology, is it? It's about global strategic dynamics, shifting alliances, and fundamentally rethinking power in the digital age.
Yes, exactly. The move from a controlled, secretive cathedral to an open and decentralized bazaar has deep implications for everything from national security to innovation and global collaboration.
Mm. So, what do you think is the takeaway here? Is the world safer or more dangerous now that the box has been opened?
That's the million-dollar question. Uh, and there's no black and white answer. We've traded one category of risk for another. A more dynamic, competitive environment might drive innovation, yet it also allows for a wider array of actors to, potentially misuse these powerful tools.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering the technological Cold War between the US and China, these decisions have ramifications far beyond the tech community. They're a part of global power play.
Precisely. Going forward, the challenge isn't to close down the innovation entirely, but to manage and mitigate the chaos it brings. This means crafting international regulations, building robust accountability mechanisms, and constantly, reassessing the risks as the technology evolves.
Indeed. It really paints a picture of our future, a mixed bag of unprecedented opportunities and equally significant dangers.
Absolutely. And that future is being written right now. Whether through idealistic experiments or strategic power plays, the open source AI movement is reshaping not only technology, but the very way nations conceive of power and security.
Yeah. Well, it's been a truly eye-opening discussion. Thanks for walking through these complex ideas and for challenging some of the assumptions along the way.
My pleasure. It's a topic that demands constant debate and scrutiny. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious.
Yep,